Hi there, I'm Darren Dubinsky, a photography instructor here at Milwaukee Area Technical College. Today I'm going to be giving you a few pro tips on how to better light your subjects regardless of whatever camera you're going to be using. It could even be your cell phone. When you're taking a picture of somebody, doing a portrait, you're going to typically want to have softer light. Now what I mean by softer light is light that usually comes out of like window light that's usually less shadows, or the shadows are not as sharp and defined, meaning the shadows are softer. So that's why we call it soft light. So if you have a window that faces north, or it is kind of cloudy outside, you could even go outside and get that soft lighting look. Now here we are in a studio setting. So we have created or recreated the look of a window light setting. So when you have your subject next to your window light, you want to have them get closer to that window. By doing that, it will actually brighten up the exposure on their face. Now here we've got nice soft shadows going across my face. I'm sorry, nice soft lighting going across my face. The shadows are on this side of the face away from the light. This is creating nice shape and form with that deeper shadow. If you as a photographer want to get nice soft lighting across the entire face with less shadows, you will want to have your back facing the window and then have your subject face that same lighting source. So they could face it and then look at the camera, and there you go. Now I have soft lighting across my entire face. But in this scenario, it could become a little too flat, meaning that there aren't enough shadows on my face creating that shape and form. If you want to add more of that shape and form, then have them turn their head just a little bit or completely like this, and now there's more shadows across my face on this other side. Typically, you want your light to be above eye level on your subject so that the light is kind of coming down onto them. You typically don't want light coming from the underneath. Now think about campfire. You around a campfire with a flashlight pointing up, right? The light is coming from below and you're scary, right? We don't necessarily want that unless it's the look you're going for. So typically you want your light up a little bit more than eye level. When you have your subject next to your window, it is important, like I said before, to have your back to the window as the photographer facing your subject so that they are facing the window light itself. Now, if you are the other way around and you put them next to the window and you have them face you with the light behind them, now your subject becomes a silhouette. And there's nothing wrong with a silhouette, but that is something that you're going to be looking for specifically as a photographer. And that can kind of create a nice kind of silhouette look. Now, if you don't have a window behind you and you want to go outside and do photography, well, there we have the sun. And with the sun, you have a hard light source. Instead of getting this nice soft light that you're getting from this larger light source that your subject is closer to, that's creating soft shadows, outside you're getting the sun. Now, it is very far away and therefore it appears to be small in the sky, which creates hard edge shadows on your subject. Typically on skin, you do not want your hard edge shadows falling on your subject. So next, I'm going to show you some light that looks like sunlight. Again, we're in a studio, but let's go ahead and take a look at that. So now we have recreated kind of what would be like a sunlight in the studio. So obviously, if you wanted to go outside and take some pictures, and it is hard sunlight with not a cloud in the sky, you're going to get this hard edge shadow on your people's faces whenever you try to photograph them. And if they're facing the sun, it's pretty difficult to keep my eyes open because I get this bright light facing right at me. So instead of doing it this way, what I recommend is actually positioning yourself and your subject so that the sun is behind your subject. So we're going to do that here. I'm going to move this light back behind me. And again, this is a hard-edged light source because it is a smaller light source. Find my spot. And now the light is edging all the way around me on my shoulder here. This is actually going to create a better separation from your subject, from your background, and it also kind of creates this really kind of nice rim light. Now when you're outside, it might not be as extreme of shadows where I'm at right now with this harder light and then a darker shadow. We actually have another light kind of simulating a little bit of what's called fill light. The light that would bounce off the trees and the grass and the buildings and the cars and everything that's around when you're outside anyways. That fill light is what you actually want to set your exposure to. Now, if you don't have a professional camera and you're not quite familiar with how to change exposure on that at this point in time, even if you have your cell phone, you can have your cell phone up and tap on the shadow portion of your subject so that the exposure is done on the shadow portion, and then this will become even brighter, but that's okay. You're trying to find exposure on the person's face, not on this really high, bright shoulder here. So what's important? The eyes, right? Focus on the eyes, make sure focus is there, and exposure is for the whole face. So if you find yourself not in front of a window or even outside, but yet you still want to take a picture of somebody, maybe you're out at a restaurant or you're even at a bar or wherever that's a little bit darker, what you can do is turn on the flashlight for your cell phone and light your subjects with that flashlight. You could even ask them and say, hey, could I use your phone for a second? Turn on your flashlight, and in one hand, you're lighting them with their own phone, with their flashlight, and on the other hand, you actually have your phone that you're photographing them with. So now in this scenario, you're lighting them with their phone through their flashlight, and then you're taking a picture of them with your phone, and you've got two phones in your hand. You might look a little silly, but the pictures are going to be way better than a very dark subject in kind of a really dark, low-lit area. So there you go, a few photography tips to be able to take your photography to the next level. Just click the link below if you wanted to find out more about the photography program specifically here at Milwaukee Area Technical College, or click subscribe as well to find out more pro tips from other programs.